So welcome to the second hour of Mindshifters Radio, and today is Tuesday, December the 2nd, 2025. And welcome, Michael. People are still popping in, so welcome, everybody.
Sweet. Welcome, everybody. Delighted that you're here. Delighted that we get to move to the next level of the conversation about living in revelation rather than living in constructed perceptions of the mind. More and more, as I do my StillPoint practice in the mornings, a couple hours at least, pretty much, I'm realizing that we are not designed to live in this tiny construct called the mind, the body's mind, carbon-based memory, but really that we're designed to truly have access to the whole of the actuality, and changes the whole game. So delighted that y'all are here changing your game. How's everybody be? Anything exciting happening?
Just wanted to talk about the idea for yesterday in the Course of Miracles, which is I am not a body, I am free. I hear that.
I remain as God created me.
Yeah,
Yay.
I hear the voice that God has given me, and it is only this my mind obeys. Be free today and carry freedom as your gift to those who still believe they are enslaved within a body. Be you free, so that the Holy Spirit can make use of your escape from bondage to set free the many who perceive themselves as bound and helpless and afraid. Let love replace their fears through you. Accept salvation now and give your mind to him, her, who calls to you to make this gift to him, her. For he, she would give you perfect freedom, perfect joy, and hope that finds its full accomplishment in God. You are God's son and daughter. In immortality, you live forever. Would you not return your mind to this? Then practice well the thought the Holy Spirit gives you for today. Your brothers stand released with you in it. The world is blessed along with you. God's son, daughter will weep no more, and heaven offers thanks for the increase of joy your practice brings even to it, and God herself extends her love and happiness each time you say, I am not a body, I am free. I hear the voice that God has given me, and it is only this that my mind obeys. Lesson 199, page 382, 383 of the Course of Miracles. So perfect timing what you're saying about living in revelation.
Yeah, if you look into the intuitive development intensive, this is what I was told this morning, in that it just a lot of pieces fell into place. You know, when you hear that, be still and know. Like in our minds, we think we know, but be still and know is there's another place it comes from. And so as I came out of that, I texted to the intuitive development group, your ears were designed only to hear the voice of love. Interesting. That's the lesson from the course today.
Yeah, that was yesterday's.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
okay.
So perfect. Yeah.
Well, there's one exception, or two words that I would change.
Yeah.
In that lesson. The regulatory speech in the course is sometimes very poor.
Yeah.
One, we've been convinced by the language of men of mortality. And so in order to deny one's mortality, people say, I'm immortal. What does immortal mean? I'm mortal, dead.
Yeah.
Immortal. We're not immortal. We're eternal. We need to shift that one. And the other one is, I suggest that anyone who's working with the course, that every time you read it and it uses the words over and over and over and over and over and over again, the Holy Spirit, there is no such thing.
Yeah.
It's the breath. It's literally the breath. They changed the Aramaic words of Yeshua from Rukha to Kudsha, the breath given to us at the in the initiation of creation. You look at the story where he's teaching the disciples to breathe, and what does it say? It says, out of Greek philosophy, he breathed on them.
Yes.
They received the Holy Spirit. No, he taught them to breathe, and they learned how to live in the whole breath that they were given from the beginning.
Yeah, beautiful. And yeah, so, and then of course today's one said to Dr. Tim, there is no peace except the peace of God. And it really talks about just resting in the silence. Now that there is silence, seek no further. You have come to where the need or the road is carpeted with the leaves of false desires, fallen from trees and hopelessness you sought before. Now are you underfoot, and you look up and on towards heaven with the body's eyes, but serving for an instant longer now. Peace is already recognized at last, and you can feel its soft embrace surround your heart and mind with comfort and with love. It's getting clearer and clearer, this beautiful revelation that we're undergoing.
Yes. And if we'll go along with that command to be still,
Yeah.
then that revelation will come to us directly.
Mm-hmm.
It's our birthright to be told that, not by other men, but to be told that directly. And the ultimate goal of the work is for each person to reach that space where they're
Yeah.
receiving that directly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Thank
joining you in the process.
Yeah, lots is being revealed, and so I'll share when it's all complete. But yeah, lots is being really revealed in the present dream
Well,
time and everything.
well, share the half that's being revealed. Tell
Well,
us about
the whole point is around, and Dr. Tim talks about this, and so it's coming exactly on time about how the patriarch set up the rules of the game and how women were to interact in society. Then we hold these belief patterns around where we fit. So, and I grew up in a very misogynistic family, so I bought into the belief that feminine, which I associated with women, were inferior to masculine and men. Hook, line, and sinker, I spent my whole life wanting to prove myself to men. As people know, I'm a forester by training. And most of my career, I worked in male-dominated industries, me being the only woman with all these men, only woman with all these men. So I bought in hook, line, and sinker. And then this whole need to prove myself in their presence. I laugh now. It's funny. It's comical. Like I'm saying, oh my gosh, I bought into the whole story. And here I am now coming home to myself. And Dr. Tim helped me see today that the feminine force, that beautiful elemental energy is one feminine elemental energy. That's the unseen. And then the masculine is the interaction with the physical reality through the sensory experience. So that's all coming online and coming home to myself, as I mentioned, going through this internalization of coming into full presence between these two parts of myself.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting when you started talking about how you bought into it, you covered your mouth.
Oh,
You automatically your hand went up and
really?
like, yeah, whoa, gotta keep this inside.
Oh my God, that's true.
Oh dear.
I'm learning to, yeah, like, oh my, did I ever buy into that lie? Like I've a hook, line, and sinker. This whole,
Yeah.
and so it must be lifetimes old, this, whatever this is. And it doesn't matter because I'm here now. It doesn't, I mean,
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough to see other past lives and things, but none of it matters. It's what I'm doing with it in this right here, right now with my consciousness. So that's interesting that I did that. I'm going to have to do so. I can feel that I must cover up my truth. I must cover up my truth. I can't speak my
Yeah.
truth.
So holding the space for you to know that it's absolutely, totally
Oh,
safe
yeah,
to experience and speak your truth.
that's a big
But the
one.
only
And
thing you get for it is support, caring.
yeah, thank you. So that's all unraveling. That's what's up front and center right on my reality screen. So it's brilliant. Yeah. Thank you for listening.
Cool. Well, how's everybody else doing? Anything exciting in your world? Anything to share? push that mute button. And let's hear about it. For those who came on a little bit late, Jeanie was sharing that she had a doctor's visit today, and the doctor said, go ahead and take that boot off and start wearing shoes. So that was a nice piece of information for her today, after how long now of running around with a broken foot?
5 weeks.
How is everybody?
I can share.
Please.
I found a bit of an more easeful way for me to do the mind shifter without kind of cranking my neck in an awkward position that brings a lot of tension. So using ChatGTP, just asking it to record it while I do an audio recording. And I also get to close my eyes and go in the flow, which feels really good. And yeah, so I did a couple of the mind shifters that you offered out yesterday. And I only caught the end of what Susan was saying, but it may be similar that, you know, coming back from the intensive and being in such a container of higher awareness and accountability consciousness and, you know, a space of deep truth, and then coming back into regular life where there's a lot of attachment energies to material things that are in your environment that can trigger thought forms. And so doing the mind shifter was really beautiful because the catalyzing effect of coming back into all this mind energy is that it is almost like there's a clarity with the break that I had, and then coming back into it and seeing it clearer. So the highlighting dynamics that come out of the mind shifters have a lot to do with my family's ancestral history of holding aspects of higher knowing, hiding it, hiding truth, also hiding shameful patterns, like the illusion of shameful patterns, and a lot of thought forms around being perfect and having to fit into society. And then how many highlights were put on feeling fundamentally unlovable and not belonging in society. And yeah, there was a couple other big highlights. I got a bit distracted, but that came out that allowed me to sit with some deeper parts of my family and the collective, and how there seems to be like this loop where society tries to be like everybody else in fear of being in their own truth and their own authenticity, but that like loop, that rat race, just brings deeper spirals of disconnect and judgment and fear. And so yeah, that's some of the big points that came more clear in the mind shifters. And then of course so much relief for me to let that move through, just witnessing it from a space of love, and to come back into the safety that it's, it feels good to be in my state of consciousness while being a part of the collective has kind of landed in today. Yeah, so that's it.
Two thoughts that I have from what you just said. One, that's an interesting idea to do a mind shifter using AI. Did you ask for it to give you feedback on what came up as you went through? I assume you did the same thing as if you'd written the mind shifter and then write everything on the right side of the page. Did you ask it for a commentary on your responses?
So I didn't at first, but it did. I just said record it in point form so I could go back and look on it.
Mm.
But then I did ask for common themes and then anything to be shared, but it got more into story and I wasn't interested in that part.
Right. Cool. And the other thought, to recognize that far more important than quote unquote being lovable is to really realize yourself, accept yourself, be still enough to know the truth that you are the essence of love. As a human being, that's what you are. And the world has, they call it being lovable when you live up to somebody's goals. It's got nothing to do with love. It's that whole substitution of approval for being. And to just really tap into your essence as the presence that you are, and let the rest of the baggage go.
Yeah, thank you for that reframe.
Mm-hmm.
Susan Fluick just put in the chat room, just came up with a mind shifter for my truth. It is safe, easy, and healing for me to trust my truth and to speak it in presence of masculine, even when it is not fully received.
And you could make an addendum to that. You can make kind of a matching one. And those last few words shifted into, as a masculine joyfully and approvingly receives my truth. Because if you're dealing with a real human man, when you come forward truly as you are, there's going to be nothing but joy and aliveness. And the only way something different comes forward is the projection from the weak, unhealed mind of the man that you're talking to.
And I realize that's my own internal masculine. Right. So when back to your teachings around everything I see out there in the moment, if it's being received and I have an upset around it, which many times I don't feel received. So that's when I don't feel that and it creates an energetic upset, then that's what I'm denying within my own self and dissociating from. So I can see I can feel it. I don't have language for it yet. It's about coming into union with myself and my own distorted thinking about the aspects of me that are masculine. And I can feel my own inner masculine being an immaturity because it's cognitive dissonance, because the construct that was created was that women are inferior to the masculine. So I bought into that in my mind energy, and the masculine within me bought into that in the mind energy. And so now I'm moving into, first of all, blockage of truth, blockage of self, because I'm in a feminine body and I'm equal. I was created exactly what we went through. And, and when we hugged goodbye and you showed me, equal, complementary and equal. Not, being consumed by or all that. So that's what's being unraveled right now. So
Awesome.
yeah, it is the internal masculine that is disapproving. So that's what's being reflected in my outer world. That I have created the mind's image of men and then externalize it in my mind's image of them, which is not approving. So this must, yeah, I feel this is lifetimes old, what I am cleaning up, and also in the ancestral patterning of how the masculine perceived or how men perceived women. I'm going to say that. And I believe that the true masculine energy and the true feminine energy never got to come online in my family system. The truth of what it really means to be in harmony and balance. So this is what I feel I'm integrating right now. So thank you for that.
Oh, there's
And
another interesting. Go
yeah,
ahead.
no, that was just going to wrap up there. It's good.
There's another interesting piece. I mentioned the TV series that we've been watching the last few days on Hawaii and the wars there. This Chief of War is the name of the series. It's on
And what is it
Amazon.
on? What is it? I know, I think I saw the first one. Do you know which
It's on. You can get it on Amazon.
okay.
You have to sign up for whatever, it's like a $5. You can sign up for a month and cancel it. It's one of their,
Mm,
but there's a really powerful portrayal there of the game of the masculine putting down the female. And there are several examples where the women know who they are and stand their ground,
yeah,
just it's a powerful portrayal of, excuse me, I don't sell out because you're a man, thank you.
yeah.
I'm going to give that pattern up. It's, I mean, it's powerful. Lots of breathing to be done, lots of
Okay.
forgiveness to be done because it's horrific. It's based, apparently, they rated it an 8 out of 10 for historical accuracy, except that they changed some timelines around in order to get it all in a one season thing. But
Okay.
it's powerful.
I will
But there's some
definitely.
really great portrayal, especially the woman who becomes the wife of the king, and she doesn't sell out to him even. He's the king, and her father
Yeah.
is his king's advisor, and her father's like, "Oh, you better sell out to him," in so many words, and she's like, "Right, Dad? Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now
Yeah.
you can go be quiet."
Yeah.
So
And and I think, my body, when this isn't, it's still cocked, right? The neck part, that piece here, I feel this is all related to what is being processed right now. I can feel it going all the way
that
up.
makes sense.
It's up. I can feel it. Once that gets brought into balance, that's going to correct. Because I can actually feel it right in the inner core, right where
Hmm.
it's locked. So
When you think of left side of the body being generally related to female and right to
yeah,
male, an imbalance in those muscles would bring about that result.
yeah.
But
And also,
congratulations on the fact that you got about 90%, 95% of the intensity of it handled and
yes.
98% of the imbalance handled. That's pretty powerful in 6 months.
know. And I also realize right now what I'm going through. So this part of my right side, it's the part of my right side, which is the masculine side that hasn't been received. Do you know, I've been projecting it out into the world of the distortion, but
Right?
I haven't sat with it. And well, I wasn't conscious to really go to the depth of the acknowledgement of it, but now that I am being with all the projections I've placed out there, I am actually coming into my own presence on the right hand side,
Nice.
layer by layer. And I'm being able to be resting into this physiology. It's not complete yet, but it's coming moment by moment as this stuff releases. And I take it in and clean it up. And that part of me then gets to come home into my own being. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a big deal. This is for everybody on the call. This is my core work, this particular. And it makes complete sense now why I grew up in the family I did, misogynistic, all that I went through. I male-dominated industries my whole life, you know, or in my career, and going up against men with masculine energy. And the element what unfolded at the retreat when Patrick was kindly, graciously showed me that I was leading with the masculine, even when I said to you, I got to challenge you. That's not my natural state of being. So that it's all coming clear, so clear.
Well, I think you really got to look at that power person dynamic and the way that
Yes.
that you just were replicating in order to obtain power. You were playing the male
Yes.
dominance game.
Yes. That's it.
To let go of that. Yeah.
Yeah, just what a gift that is. I'm just thrilled to see this coming online. So thanks everybody for listening, and to be continued.
Yay. Well, does that resonate anything for anybody else?
I have a quick question. This is the other
Please.
Susan. Okay.
Yes, other Susan.
You gave me a mind shifter, and it probably, how can you get a wrong mind shifter? Because I didn't do it. I mean, I did it.
Probably the right one. You didn't do it, but you did. Okay,
I don't know what it is. There was no writing involved. I read it and I just totally agreed with it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any refutations.
Right.
And I don't think I heard the first part. It was, I forget the numbers. The first part was a deep dive into relationship. And then the second part was every interaction in my relationships has always been for my highest good.
That was it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I came on the show working out things with my mother and, early childhood stuff that had me stuck in a lot of anxiety and depression. But I really think maybe I'm
Read
fooled.
yourself deeply on that front.
Say that again, Michael?
I say you've really worked deeply on and cleaned up a lifetime's worth of trauma on that front.
Well, you taught me that everything is for your good. Everything is for your inner learning and growing. And that seems like the only way to move around in life when things get tough, particularly, is to realize, what can I learn here? And so I couldn't fight with the mind shifter. The right side stayed empty.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What about the relationship with yourself?
Oh, that's a thought. Whole new thought.
All relationships, especially the one with myself.
I didn't hear that part of it. You added that. That was
Yeah.
a good add.
All relationships, including the relationship with myself.
Okay, Susan, now we're talking turkey.
There you go.
I felt it. I felt it, my darling. I felt it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of crap there for sure.
That's what you came
All right.
to bring out.
Oh man. You're hired, Susan, second string co-host in the show.
I just felt it.
For it.
Yeah.
So what comes up on the right-hand side of the page in that one?
I don't like to look in the mirror. I was horrified that my face showed up on Tim Hayes's Zoom show. I accidentally pushed show my video, and Susan said, "Ow, I've never seen you before." And I thought, "Oh my God, get me out of here."
And how beautiful you are. I just want to point that out. How beautiful to see that beautiful light share with us. I just want to really acknowledge
Susan, that. I'm telling you, there's so many. Okay, this is opening a lot of stuff. I right away, I had a beautiful, petite childlike mother who sat at her boudoir first thing in the morning when she got up and used the most amazing array of cosmetics and perfumes and hair things. And I remember standing as a little kid and watching. And when she went away, I'd sit there and I would sniff the perfumes and take out the lipsticks and roll them up to see what color. I didn't put them on. She was just out of my ranks and I was a little kid, but I would sniff them and be with them and think, and I was a tomboy, gender confusion all the way, even now, crushes on women, crushes on men, falling in love with anybody who's fits the bill, and that's another tangent. I ended up on the straight side sexually, but emotionally, I'm very labile. And I really never stopped being fascinated with that little mother and feeling that I couldn't be that. I didn't even think I wanted to be that, but certainly I don't look in the mirror much except to get things in place so I don't have, you know, boogers on my cheeks or something. Make sure my hair is combed and my face is splashed, and then I go on. So that's a great suggestion. All right, Mind Shifter is now in order, and there's so much to put on the right side.
Sounds like comparison of self is probably going to be a really fertile healing space for you in the next level.
Yeah.
Because everything you just said is based in comparison with mom.
Well,
So maybe mom's going to bring you a whole other layer of healing, and that relationship is going to see for your highest and best on the next level.
That is so amazing. I really thought I got a dud mind shifter. Nope.
Never run into a dud mind shifter. I've run into a lot of people who have denial about their mind shifters.
And it just didn't occur to me that I'm a person who could have a relationship with. That was so helpful, Susan.
Good catch, Susan.
Yeah. Oh, well, what do we say from here? I don't know. I'll give a report some other day.
Breathing with you.
We get to trust Rukha. She's got us all the way.
Oh, Tim Hayes' topic about he's been reading women writers who have faced the issue of patriarchy in a most constructive way. It doesn't sound destructive at all. It's like they must have done some serious inner work to be able to choose to illuminate, like the Gospel of Mary Magdalene or issues of patriarchy in the church without it. I haven't read the books, but it doesn't sound as if there's rancor there. It's just shining a light on it all. And I was so triggered by the topic yesterday that I couldn't say a word in the radio show. And I was up in the night trying to do wake up sheets, but they didn't even go to wake up sheetness. I was just remembering so many times when, and I didn't want to be the victim either. So you're really stuck in between, looking at how you feel you've been ignored, put down, devalued, and I have lots of samples of that. And then I think, well, I'm playing the victim. I don't want to do that. Anyway, these women authors, two of them he mentioned, Megan Waterston, I guess it was Waterston, and another one. They seem to have turned the issue into a juicy, helpful, enlightening project for themselves and a way of being in the world, presenting all this. And I don't know whether that's true, but I'm impressed with their generativity, their life force went past being a victim and holding a grudge. They're just being productive and pointing something out, because even to the point of saying men are innocent of this too. We are all in this together. Let's grow together and grow out of this together. So it's been a very rich couple of days of radio shows. Not to mention Jeannie's book. Working on that, there's been some triggering stuff in there.
Up for another mind shifter?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead, even though I don't want one. Okay. Only so much personal growth in a day. All right, I'm ready with my pen.
People have always admired,
Mm-hmm.
uplifted, and acknowledged me.
That is total bullshit at this point.
This
Uplifted
first thing
and
goes on the right side of the page.
okay, I'm writing. People have always admired, uplifted, and acknowledged me. Is that what you
Me,
said?
yeah,
Okay.
especially
Yeah.
those important to me. Are you breathing?
Nope. Yes, I just exhaled. To me. Do you know that there's a turtle that all winter goes to the bottom of a lake, gets under the mud, and does not breathe for 6 months? And in order to be in that state, that turtle loses calcium, becomes very decreased in vitality, but manages at the crucial moment to look up to the top of the water and see the first ray of spring light, and the turtle makes its way to the top of the water and takes its breath. And of course,
Wow.
Michael, talk about still point.
Boy, talk about a still point, yeah. And I wonder if it's actually converting somehow calcium into oxygen, if there's some sort of metabolic process it's able to do to support itself. That's pretty amazing. I'd never heard of that.
Well, I heard a sermon. I have a buddy who lives in Missouri, and I always come home and listen to his sermon when I get home from church. Their hours are different, so I can plug in when I get home.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about this woman who was fascinated with animals and has made an advent calendar about animals. Each window is about the extraordinary animal that does some amazing thing. And December 1st was about this turtle. And he worked it into his sermon. And I've ordered the book. I mean, it just seems as if we can find out stuff from these animals. But yes, the animal is seriously deprived, but God made it so that the animal could survive on its own bones and resources. As you said, Michael, what did that calcium do? I don't know. But the turtle makes it for the 6 months and gets back up and resumes its life. What an amazing idea.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. You'll have to send me a copy of that sermon. I'd love to hear.
If I can,
More
yeah,
about
I don't know if I'm sure it was live streamed. You'll love the guy too. Oh, anyway, that's a whole other thing. He's just been a dear friend for many, many years. And
Cool.
we
Cool.
were at his ordination 40 years ago. So up in New Haven, and that's where I met him. Yeah. That's all beside the point. So
Amazing people in the world, aren't there?
I know it. Amazing. So anyway, I don't know where to go from there. Take it away, kids.
All right. Well, you got your new mind shift. It'll be fun to hear what comes back from you spending a couple hours writing. People have always admired, uplifted, and acknowledged me, especially those important to me.
If you hear an explosion up north, yeah, I'm copying it out
Get
here.
get a note
Yeah.
from somebody who goes to the bottom of the lake for 6 months.
Oh man.
Mm, that's pretty cool.
All
All
right.
right.
Mm.
Anyone else have anything to report? Anything to share? Anything exciting happening in your world? Let's circle back then to this idea of being designed to live in something other than perception. And if we look historically, whatever the spiritual process has been, or the healing modality, or whatever, if it's based in perception, belief, or carbon-based memory, if it's built on the mind of man as opposed to the mind of Christ in us, then it just becomes another ritual, another ideology, another system that keeps people trapped in their own hallucinations. And to recognize that you are designed to be way beyond that, to literally, legitimately live with full contact with actuality, again called revelation. And a lot of the theologies, there's no private revelation, you can't do that. It's like, oh, that's exactly what we're designed for. And revelation is not something mystical. It's not some spirit that comes along and says, oh, I have a piece of new information for you. It's simply when we're willing to really go into that quiet place, when we're willing to breathe sufficiently to dissolve anything that carbon-based memory's got to say, then the hallucinations that keep the mind, what was called the mind of man, the stream of perception, busy with its stories, all of a sudden getting untrapped from that and recognizing that the only legitimate basis for healing is that actuality. Accurate words with access to truth. And for each individual, and each person has to do this for themselves to bring in the living, breathing presence of love. And that is the organizing principle. That breath is the organizing principle, the intelligence that informs physiology, that fuels physiology, that we're designed to be infused with. And that we're designed to reflect that state of being. And remembering in Aramaic, that's what the word prayer means. Rather than always flowing information from carbon-based memory from the past, all the unresolved voices in our generation screaming and raging and yelling and battling and wanting to win and wanting to beat, wanting to do all the things that carbon-based memory does. Here's a simple, powerful Aramaic word. It's been translated as prayer. And out of ego minds, translated into, or transformed, should I say, reduced to, putting your order into the cosmic gift catalog rather than something our whole lives are designed to be lived in. And the whole objective of this body of work is to restore that single piece of awareness and the tools with which to produce that result on an individual basis with every person it touches. To restore our original human function, to recognize that this thing that the Aramaic language called the Shekinah, the awareness of that presence of love that is at the core of our very temples, and that when we are able to listen to that, when we capture the essence of the Creator's mind, the Creator's voice, then we're guided out of self-referenced carbon-based memory and its hallucinations back to the power and to the presence of literally the shared breath with the Creator. And that when we honor that, when we choose to make that primary, when we choose to pray, I remember, as a kid hearing that thing, being told your whole life there'll come a time when your whole life will become a prayer. And it's like, hey, the only thing I could imagine for that was square knees, because prayer was while you're down on your knees and telling what God should be doing. But to the movement of the breath that dissolves hostility, fear, trauma, and all of the incoherent output of the mind, stepping into authentic healing, reconnecting. And my definition of that would be reconnecting with the actuality of the Creator's world rather than the world of perception. If we'll open the space to let the wholeness of that in, which is so much bigger than we can imagine, and the only way to let it in is through the breath, then that energy of actuality with an open gate from the breath, when the veil of the temple is open. I've always thought of the veil of the temple as, well, that's the thing that we close down and hide things with, but there's another level, but also the veil that inhibits actuality from being available to us. So yes, the veil of the temple, the barrier between the subconscious and the unconscious, needs to be opened. But also the veil that's blocked out actuality to literally breathe in the actuality, which when, as the powerful energy field that it is, it's allowed into this historically distorted state of awareness called human, as it's defined in the world today. To let it in and allow yourself to be totally reorganized by it, and really recognizing that word as organic structure, to shift right down to including our organic structure, that's the real definition of healing. Recognize that perception is always an internal hallucination. It's painted on the inside of our eyeballs. Healing begins when we learn to distinguish what our mind shows us and what actuality is. Literally forgiving, expanding out of the contractions of the hallucinations of the mind of man, and to sense the breath-based actuality that underlies everything. And when we do, it's going to change us. It's like, if I'm watching a story on TV and I change channels, everything is reorganized by that new signal. And there is a breath-based actuality, if we will stay connected to our breath, that is the delivery system for the actuality that restores physiology to the state where that, which was called in Aramaic the Shekinta, the presence. The Greeks kind of try to take that one over, the comforter, and made it something about some sort of disembodied spirit being, but no, it is literally a reflection of the presence in us of that in which we live, move, and have our being. And to free physiology from a past of hostility, fear, rage, guilt, grief, drama, and trauma, and allow that to be felt once again, the felt sense of it. Literally in training our breath. And each new stage in alignment is going to mean a new show of pulses somewhere in the structure, reflecting a new level of energy entering the system. A step each time, a step closer to being fueled by the breath of the actuality. And recognize that we get to share this breath. It's not our breath. And we listen to that creation story that the Creator breathed its breath into us. And allow the original circuitry of human life to be reconnected. That renewal, that restoration, that breath delivers the love that does the work. And of course, what's the work? The removal of the unresolved generational patterns of any form of hostility or fear that override with noise and interference the fact that the underlying presence in our physiology is that of love. And the world jumps up and makes as much noise as it can to try to distract us from that. And that noise is what inhibits awareness of that Shekinta presence. And of course, forgiveness from the Aramaic is the core mechanism, the core tool for dissolving the internal constructs of the mind that keep hostility and fear in the forefront. And as long as we value that hostility and fear, I love the line in the Course in Miracles from the lesson on what is the world. The lowercase w world is the creation or the constructs created by the mind. The world is false perception. It will remain no longer than the thought that gave it birth is cherished. If there is an unresolved issue, then we will have a thought that we think this is the key to life itself. And people hold to that, and it becomes the very thing that destroys us. The very thing that keeps hostility and fear circulating and seeming as though it's important and that somehow it protects us, rather than is the very energy that draws everything detested into our lives. Realigning every energetic dynamic right down to our inner speech, our regulatory speech, in alignment with Rockman, alignment with breath. Bringing our personal code into alignment with that too. Without that alignment, virtually any modality becomes another form of self-deception if it's not built on actuality. If it's built on the reality in the mind of a human, the mind of quote unquote man, it's just another self-deception. Regulatory speech aligned with love and the breath becomes a foundation. Conscious choice, the willingness to stay in contact with this precious gift, the breath. And that reestablishes the brain's ability, the mind's ability, the stream of awareness to come back to its original form. You look in the scriptures, and that was originally meant to be our footstool, and it's become the master. So becoming available, that our minds literally become available to deliver the direct energetic patterns from the actuality. And again, that's what has been called revelation. When Rukha is active, the mind becomes the screen of awareness, the 9-bit mind is available to reflect that revelation instead of simply replaying what's in card-based memory over and over and over again. So restoring that state of active Rukha and then uplinking directly to that as the information source, then the screen of awareness can reflect actuality. True perception appears, not hallucinations anymore, but the actual reflection of the Creator's world. For me, that would be the Aramaic understanding and definition of healing. And we've been tricked with these trick words. You know, this ghost flew out of the sky, and it's this Holy Ghost that's going to fix things for you. That's all Greek metaphysics. This whole idea of disembodied energies is just out of a realm of distraction from created by the minds of men. Literally, our very lives is this human breath that we were given and is designed to fuel every cell to be incarnated fully. It's simple. And it becomes a direct experience that comes as a result of using the tools, not by reading a lot of books and memorizing some sort of dogma or doctrine or some sort of BS, some sort of belief system. Comes about as a result of doing a body of work. Doctrine, belief, opinion. It's all card-based memory. Healing arises, I would offer, from this felt sense of being, the actual activation of love in tissue, the breath, the presence. And that it is in community that this level of healing happens. And bringing it to the point where true healing becomes a normal function of daily life. And recognizing that this human energy field, again, back to that word prayer, amplifies that presence of energy, reflects it into the world when hostility or fear are active. And then once you're restored to that presence, you know exactly what to do. You're guided from within. You don't need somebody's set of rules, somebody lording over you, somebody threatening you. They're all systems that make sure that the internal mechanism is not operating properly. You actually live as the presence of love and to reflect the source of healing in every interaction. And, above all else, maintain the presence of love. When the presence of love is active, healing automatically occurs. So joining you in breath, joining you in wholeness, joining you in healing, and holding the space for each and every one of us to have the best year yet of our eternal lives. Thanks for joining us. Blessings.